Hello, guys. Welcome back to the NW Sportscast. The Mariners drop yet another game and fall to the Blue Jays by a score of 3-5. Levi, what's your initial reaction from another bad start from George Kirby? Top of the line, doesn't get things going. Typical April Mariner baseball. What happened?
Yeah, well, Drew, what happened is, kind of similar to what I said last night. It feels like every time the starting pitcher messes up and isn't perfect, the offense just is not able to carry the load at all. It's a lot more of the same. We had 6 hits, couple of walks, and 10 strikeouts. Again, with a back-to-back 10 strikeout performances. And again, all of our runs in this series have come from home runs. We have 3 solo home runs in this series and one 2-run bomb, Mitch Haniger. Yeah, bottom of the order looks good, top of the order stinks, and that's basically been the entire theme of this season so far. Tough way for this to happen, but I feel like a broken record saying this, Drew. It's
Because
only
it
been
because it kind
12
of is a broken
games.
record. Um, I will say, like, we can harp on the lineup, but
Yeah.
George Kirby, 5 earned runs in 4 innings of work, as your, 1B ace, like that's not gonna cut it. Not good stuff. Back to back bad starts from Kirby after starting the season with a good start. He didn't look great today, but he definitely could have escaped with fewer than 5 earned runs. Was my professional diagnosis. I know he gave up 8 hits, but for example, in the third, there very easily could have gotten Bo Bichette out. He had him at a 0-2 count and a 1-2 count before Bo Bichette took him yard. Unfortunate there, and Bichette doesn't hit that homer, and all of a sudden the game is completely different, and the Mariners do put up 3 runs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure math is 5 - 2 is 3, so the game's different. But just it feels like the pitching can't get it going when the hitting does, and the hitting can't get it going when the pitching does. And the last few games both haven't been getting going, and also some bad luck has happened. Like we hit the ball hard last night. Tonight we had 6 hits, only 3 runs to show for it. And a lot of things are really falling in the wrong direction for the Mariners, and it's unfortunate because it feels like the same thing that happened last year and the same thing that happened the year before that, and it's frustrating because you sit at the end of the year after 162 and you're a game outside the playoffs. Games like this matter, and I understand the argument first to start the season. Don't panic, don't wave the white flag now. And I get it. I'm not giving up on this baseball team. This is still a good Seattle Mariner team, if not a great one. This might be the best Seattle Mariner team we've seen in a long time. That is still true. But what's also true is the Mariners have 8 losses in their first 12 games this year in 2024. That is the facts, Levi. And unfortunately, the Mariners are now 4-8. They've dropped, I don't know what it is, but I know it's back-to-back games against a Blue Jays team that the Mariners are at least competent with. It's unfortunate. And last year, the Mariners start 4-8. And once again, the Mariners are 4-8. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's kind of my thoughts. It can be both true that the Mariners could still be really good this year, but this is also a pathetic start to the season.
Yeah, well, last year we were 4-8, and then we got 4 games against the A's and we swept them. Unfortunately, we don't get that this time around. So
Cubs team that is not bad at all.
the Cubs have been playing good baseball lately. I'll say this, Drew. I think. Look, the pitching has to be better, and I said this morning in my other video talking about why I do think it's too early to panic, but right now your starting pitchers, 12 games into the season, they've given you 3 quality starts out of 12,
And that's your strong
and
suit.
and they're 20, Drew, they're 28th in ERA, 28th, the starters. And they were ranked by a lot of people, a lot of really smart people had them as a top 3, top 5. Some people even had them as the best rotation in baseball. Right now,
I had him top two. I am
right,
second
yeah,
right behind the Braves.
I had them third behind, or no, I had them second behind the Braves when fully healthy. Yeah. And it's like right now, they have been a bottom 3 rotation. That's not going to continue. Like, as bad as it is, I'm here to say, like, even if Kirby and Castillo both don't have elite numbers this year, they're going to at least be better than 6.5, 6.9. Like, that is, their ERAs are so bad right now. And like, they're going to be better than that.
You would hope so, wouldn't you?
You would hope so. And then look at the offense. Drew, the offense looks hopeless right now. I mean, I haven't seen an offense. We've tied, I believe, our longest streak as a team with not scoring more than 5 runs in a game. The offense is miserable. And again, same story today. You saw Rojas and Canzone both reaching base multiple times. You have Haniger, who I guess what was he batting fifth today with a 2-run homer.
He was,
Top
because
four
Ty got
guys in
moved
the
up.
lineup going 2 hits for the top 4 guys in the lineup, I believe. 1 hit for the top 4. I'm looking at this. Yeah, France was 0 for 4. As soon as he gets moved up to the lineup, he stops hitting.
Polanco and Julio had a hit.
Did Polanco? Okay, so Julio had a hit. All right. And Polanco, yeah,
It's
Polanco's
just
actually been the best hitter of our top 3, and Polanco's
yeah.
been terrible.
Well, I was listening to your post game yesterday, Levi, and you were, you were arguing for maybe a potential switch in the lineup, specifically Crawford moving
JP
down.
cannot be leading off anymore.
He goes 0 for 3 again. So, it begs the question, is it time? Is it officially time?
Yes.
Again, I know you already said that, but is it officially time in your eyes for JP to move down? Where do you move him down to? Who takes the leadoff spot? What would you do if
I
you're
know
Scott?
this seems kind of odd to do this because, like, you don't think of him as a traditional leadoff hitter. I'd bat Mitch Haniger first. I think he's making the best contact right now. He's reaching base. I believe he leads the team in walks as well. He's doing everything right. And you want this guy to get the most at bats on your team. I know he's not like a fast guy, and a lot of times you want your leadoff guy to be fast. I don't really care. Like Kyle Schwarber's batting leadoff for the Phillies. Mitch is your hottest hitter right now. Bat him leadoff, and then maybe hit JP fourth or fifth. I wouldn't punish him all the way down the order, but at this point, either Mitch or Josh Rojas needs to be leading off for you because those are the guys who are actually seeing the ball well.
I would slide Julio up to lead off.
Well,
I
he's
would
not
kind of,
hitting the ball either.
yeah, but Julio's Julio. Julio has
Oh,
more grace
yeah,
than
right,
JP.
right.
It's true. Julio gets way more grace than JP Crawford.
I agree with that, but also I think Julio batting second is
Hit
fine.
today. No, Julio should be batting first in my eyes. Then Polanco. I did not like the move up to Ty. I think what they should have done, out of all of the moves they did, the one thing they did do was move Ty France to the 4 hole, and he then goes to 0 for 4. I don't think that
Yeah.
was the right move. I think we probably should have left him there in the 6 or 7 or whatever is that. My ideal lineup would be, and I'm not trying to mince words or whatever, it's not that important, but I'd have Julio in the 1, Polanco in the 2, Haniger in the 3. I'd put JP in the 4, Garver 5, France 6, Raleigh 7, Canzone 8, Rojas 9.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would say that's my ideal. I'm going Haniger 1, and then I've got Julio, Polanco 2 and 3. Probably would want to hit. I guess I'd say hit JP fourth, and then probably honestly batting. I think I might want Canzone batting fifth.
So you don't like Ty in the
batting
4 hole
sixth.
either.
I think Ty maybe bat Ty fifth or sixth. Ty don't hit the guy clean up. I mean, if he continues hitting well, but remember, like, I don't
I
know.
just like when players are playing good, like I don't know why you mess it up. Like it's the same argument. Like remember when Jared Kelenic last year was playing really
Right,
really well,
exactly. And we moved him to like third in the lineup, and
and then he
forgot
started.
how to hit.
You know,
Yeah,
I feel like they should have just left Ty France in the 6 or 7 or whatever it was. Like I don't know.
but the
I don't
problem
think
is when the top of the order isn't hitting, then you feel like you have to move the bottom of the order up. So, like, I say this fully knowing that if we do, move JP to the 9 hole and Josh Rojas to lead off, I'm gonna eat my words, and Rojas will go over 5 and JP will go 3 for 4, and it'll be like, oh well,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. On another words, some positives to talk about for sure. Levi, you have a famous, 3 positives of the
Yeah.
game. You can say those in a minute, but I'll tell you mine really quick. Not my 3. I'll just give you one. I'm not. I only need one positive. I'm not as positive as you are apparently. But this is kind of obvious in my mind. It's the bullpen once again.
Yeah.
The bullpen, outside of that one Andres Munoz walked in the winning run scenario, has been pretty locked down. And, there hasn't been many opportunities for them to kind of need to hold a lead or get a save in the 9th or really be needed in any high leverage scenario. But hey, Thornton, Voth, Stanek, Spire, and Brett DeGeus. What? How he only pitched the
I
third
have
inning.
no idea how to pronounce that guy's name.
They collectively give up 0 earned runs, so that's positive for me. They all looked really good. I was in and out of this game, to be honest. I was watching along, but I didn't see every pitch. From what I could tell, they looked pretty solid. They picked up 4 strikeouts in 4 innings of work and didn't give up a run. That's my positive. If I had to give a couple more, it'd probably be Canzone continues to hit the ball hard and Rojas.
Yeah, no, you pretty much nailed my positives on the head. My top positive is I as even though it didn't really contribute to the game because we were already losing at that point. Home runs from Canzone and Haniger, obviously good to see both of those guys getting
Yeah.
going. Canzone is currently your RBI and home run leader on the team, which
Who would that on your bingo card after
I don't
12
know if
games?
that says more about him or if that says more about the rest of the team, but do with that what you
Probably the latter. Probably the latter.
yeah, and then I thought Josh Rojas, another multi-hit. He has I think this already is his third multi-hit game of the season, so that's really good to see. From a guy who a lot of Mariners fans doubted. I did not. I said he was going to win the starting third base job over Urias. I said that all offseason.
Okay, but then
Everyone
who do you think?
said,
You
everyone
you
said
also said,
Urias is going to be great, and I said no. Rojas is the guy.
but you said someone else would take Ross's spot a little bit later. If I'm
Sure,
not,
sure.
if
Well,
I
let's ignore that. And
if I don't stand corrected. How's he
yeah,
doing in AAA, by the way?
what's
Ryan
that?
Bliss. Do you know how Bliss is doing in AAA?
I haven't looked at the Rainier stats yet. I think they just
You
started.
give your positives and I'll report back.
Yeah, my last positive was the bullpen, like Drew said, and particularly I thought Ryan Stanek looked really solid today. He was throwing the ball hard. I believe I don't think he even threw a full inning. We took him out and replaced him with Spire, but I liked what Stanek was giving us. So yeah, there you go. There's my 3 positives.
Quick Ryan Bliss update report. Benjamin.
Yeah,
Uh, 31 at bats. He's hitting 226, 0 home runs. Got 5 homers, 5 stolen bases with an OPS of 649 in the most hittable league in all of the minors
and how
and
many
majors
games?
combined.
How many
Huh?
games? How many games has he played?
Only 9. So we're not at any
Okay,
no need to
right,
panic. He's definitely
right.
not playing himself into getting called up as of right now, but lots of time to change that.
Sure,
So
sure, sure. All right, now Drew, I want to hear your takes. I seeing today, guys, the Mariners fan base has been at a really low point. I think I was telling Drew this earlier. I think honestly, I haven't seen the fan base on Twitter this down bad. And I mean, I remember last year when we were eliminated. I don't think it got this bad last year when we were eliminated. I don't think it was this bad last year in July when we were 4 below 500. Today, the people that I'm seeing lots of people saying they want Scott Service fired. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they are just done watching this baseball team. Like Drew, I want to hear your takes. So I have 2 hot takes. I mean, I don't know how hot they are. A lot of people agree with these takes, so maybe they're not hot takes.
is this your
Maybe
opinion or is this just
these
what
are
you've been
people
hearing?
that I've seen. So first off, Drew, there was a poll that I saw today on Twitter from I believe his name is Trident True. He's got like a couple thousand followers. And this poll got like hundreds of responses. It was, should we fire Scott Service? And the overwhelming answer, 67% said yes. Drew,
Wow.
I said no. I want to hear your take.
Um, there's an obvious. The answer is no. And
Yeah,
long
right.
story short, however, if this continues into July, August, you're sitting 10, 15 games below 500. That's when you can maybe start to, excuse me, convince me a little bit. But right now, we are 12 games into the season. If the Mariners go 4-8 in a random couple weeks in late July after doing great things for a few months, no one would be talking about this at
Exactly.
all.
Exactly.
It's again, there's also a catch 22 because we haven't had those few months of good baseball. We've only seen 12 games, and in those 12 games, the Mariners have looked really, really bad, not well coached, not able. The starters haven't really had an approach. Top of the lineup hasn't been great. A lot of things definitely to point to in, to why maybe Scott Service isn't doing a good job right now. But you got to look at the track record. Scott Service helped lead this team to a playoff series a couple years ago. Last year, he was dealt some tough cards. I think Scott Service isn't the best coach in the world, but at the end of the day, I think baseball is one of the least sports affected by the head coach. There's so much like you watch basketball. I mean, freaking UConn pretty much won a national championship off the back of Dan Hurley. I mean, that's how important a head coach is in basketball. In football, Pete Carroll and the Mike Macdonald switch, that is huge. Mike Macdonald is going to completely change the makeup of the Seahawks in 2024.
Right.
If you fire Scott Service and you bring in a new guy, what really changes? Like, what really changes? At the end of the day,
especially mid-season.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, JP Crawford still has to put bat to ball, guys. I'm pretty sure Scott Service doesn't do that for JP Crawford. I'm pretty sure that's Crawford. What? The new guy's going to magically give JP a magic hitting wand and all of a sudden he's going to be hitting 350? No. I mean, that's silly. Like, to put all the blame on Scott Service is blasphemy. It doesn't make any logical sense. Can you maybe point to a few things? Sure, but there hasn't been a moment where it's like, oh, he should have taken Kirby out after 6, and then they blew up in the 7th, or what are we doing playing Ty France 7 games in a row and then he gets hurt? Like, that hasn't happened. The Mariners haven't played well. Like, they straight up haven't played well, and I don't think that's on Scott Service 95%. I think it's on the players.
Yeah, I mean, you can point to it and be like, well, we start slow every year. Maybe that's his fault. But it's like, okay, at the same time, the past 3 years, we started slow and then we overcame the slow start. You don't think he plays a role in motivating the team? Like, somebody has to be that motivator. And from what I can see, he has been pretty good. He's done a pretty good job of motivating the team so that to get out of the slow starts and to get out of their slumps. So we've seen it happen 3 years in a row. Maybe if it doesn't happen for a 4th year, then we can talk about that. But it's way too early. But yeah, a lot of fans right now are done with him. The other thing I'm seeing a lot today, Drew, is what happened to Luke Raley, right? We traded for him and we hyped him up. He's going to be this big acquisition. He's going to be playing most days in the outfield, playing some first base. He's going to bring some thump to the lineup, bring some speed to the lineup. So far, he has started only 5 of the 12 games. He is hitting 150. What is going on with Luke Raley? Are the Mariners, have they given up on Luke Raley this early? And if that is the case, was that a bad trade? I'm seeing a lot of takes on Twitter, and I'm kind of gravitating towards the camp of like, I kind of do want to see what we can get out of Raley. Maybe if they're like, okay, Canzone is playing well in left field and Haniger's playing well in right field, let's give Mitch Garver a day off at DH then, and let's give Haniger a day at DH and play Raley in right. Like, it's not that there's not a spot for him. When half the lineup isn't hitting, you can find a way to put Luke Raley in there as well. But it seems like we're not even trying. So what's your take on that?
Well, first of all, I disagree with you. I think the primary reason that Luke Raley isn't playing is because there isn't a spot for him. And you point to maybe playing him in front of Mitch Garver. Well, you can make the same case for Mitch Garver then. Like, oh, well, Mitch Garver has to get going at some point. We got to play Mitch Garver.
Well, he has been playing. So I'm just saying, like, you can work him in. Like, you can give Garver an off day here and there.
Yes. Okay, fine. If you want to see Raley 1 every 4 games play DH, I'm all for it. Maybe they could do that.
You can also give Mitch Haniger off days because he's going to need them.
I agree. I think they should, but Mitch Haniger's our best one of, if not our best hitter right now.
Right.
We're trying to win baseball games.
Sure. He's our best hitter, but also like
ride the hot hand while the hand's hot.
Would you rather Haniger play 6 games a week in April and then not be able to play after April? Or would you rather he play 4 games a week through the whole season?
Hey, when your 3-point shooter is making shots, you keep the guy in and you keep letting him shoot. And that's my mindset. You don't bench Mitch Haniger now and let him get cold. Yeah. And I understand the injury argument, but how much longer are you going to get a pre-2019 Mitch Haniger? I mean, he's playing like that right now. He's playing really, really well. You have Mitch Haniger, right? You have Canzone in left and Julio in center. So Julio's playing bad, but you can't bench Julio. So let's get that out of the way.
Right, exactly.
You have Canzone in left and Haniger in right. And unfortunately for Raley, they've played a lot better than him. Like, not just a lot better than him. They've been some of our best hitters. So then it puts Scott Service in an interesting spot where it's like the offense isn't getting going. Do I play like Luke Raley, who's at the end of the day, just a guy, just to hope he gets going? Or do I try to get this Mariner team some wins early in the season and kind of turn this outlook around by keeping the hot hands in Mitch Haniger and Dom Canzone? I think that's the bigger deal, is not necessarily Rayleigh's performance. It's the performance of the other players around him. You could argue he can play some first, from what I've heard, but Ty France has been playing really well until today. So it's like, unfortunately, all the positions that are kind of up in arms, like shortstop, center field, catcher, shorts or second base, third base, all of those spots, guys are playing really well. I do think I do where I will agree with you is I like him playing DH once every 3 or 4 days. I do think that should happen. And I think he should probably start in the outfield once every 3 days. So when you combine those, I think we should see him in the starting lineup about 50% of the time. And I think that gives him adequate amount of opportunities to perform. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's kind of the path moving forward for Rayleigh. And if he breaks out of the slump, he breaks out of the slump. And if he turns into a bad trade and Caballero hits for 600 and goes to the Hall of Fame, so be it. I think it was a good trade at the time. And at the end of the day, Dipoto does trades at the time. He does not have a crystal ball. And I think everyone at that moment agreed that the Mariners won that trade. And maybe, unfortunately, we might not see the same way in a year's time. But you can't always blame a GM for not seeing the future. They have to make decisions based off what they can do in the moment. And that's kind of my take on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is you can give Garver 1 day off a week, you can give Haniger 1 day off a week, you can give France 1 day off a week, and you can give Canzone 1 day off a week, and all of a sudden you got Rayleigh playing 4 games. But I guess, like you also said, he hasn't hit anything yet, so maybe you don't want him playing 4 games. I'm saying I want to see this guy play. We traded for him for a reason, right? We thought he was going to be something, so let's see it. But I don't know. I'm just saying when you got half the lineup not hitting, I don't really care that he's hitting 150. It's like, okay, well, so is Polanco, so is Julio, so is JP. They all suck right now.
It's a
So
balance for sure.
let's just see. Let's see. I don't know.
It's
It's a bummer of a situation we found ourselves in.
Yeah. Samad Taylor went down a couple of days ago. You kind of breezed over that your last post game show. He was playing pretty well. I thought that maybe he would have had a chance to stay up, but
well, I'll say I think I might be the podcaster with the least love for Samad Taylor. I'm seeing a lot of these podcast guys for the Mariners who are really, really sad that he left. And it speaks to just how desperate I think we are for something, right? Just like the guy came in and had 1 hit and 4 at bats or something like that. And he stole a base and he scored a run and he had like a bunt single or something like that. And it's like, fans are really, really kind of sad that he's gone. It's like, I feel you though. Like I get it. It definitely kind of speaks to where we're at right now as a fan base.
Yeah, you used one word in that soliloquy that I thought was, kind of evident of this whole season, and that is desperation.
Yeah.
In tomorrow's game against the Blue Jays, it's desperation time to try to steal a game and not have this series be a complete waste. Then go in to the Cubs series and try to steal a couple of those and start to turn this season around. You cannot let this sinking ship go down. You have to turn it around now. You have to bail water. And right now you're going to be fine. But if you don't start bailing water by, a couple weeks from now, who knows? It's time to get going.
When do you hit the panic button, Drew?
I hit the panic button on the team, because George, Kirby, and Castillo, I'm not ready to hit the panic button yet, but a couple more, and I'm like, what's happening?
What record? Because for me, I'll say this. For me, it's 8 below. If we're 8 below, that's when I'm going to start actually getting worried. What's yours? Because right now we're halfway there.
If in our first 50 games, so there's a long way still to go, but I think that's kind of where I can adequately share my opinions on this team, is that about 50 games.
Yeah.
I think if we are 10 below after 50 is where I start to get concerned.
So I'm a little bit closer than you, because I said this morning, if we're 8 below through 40. So you're taking it 10 games more and
Yeah,
two more. So yeah, I mean, we're about the same.
we're really
We're
close.
not,
Yeah,
neither of us are panicking yet. And maybe that's just because we've seen the story before. I mean, we've seen them be really bad, and then all of a sudden magically they get better. But you know what I am concerned about is if the Mariners fans lose faith and stop showing up to games and stop supporting this team, then I'm worried the team is going to feel that and lose the energy. And especially with, Gino's not there anymore to be that good vibes type of guy. And I think I said when we traded him, I think that's going to be a huge loss, just his vibes in the dugout. But I don't know. I would say that because I think last year and the year before, fans kept watching even despite the losing because they were excited about the young players. They were excited about Julio and Kirby and Gilbert and all these young guys. And I think now some of that newness has kind of worn off on fans. And now they want to see wins or they're not going to watch. And I hope that the fans will not give up because like I'll say if I was in Seattle right now, I'd be going to all the games. I'm not, unfortunately, and neither are you. But
yeah. I mean, I'd be doing
um,
the same thing.
there's a
So
lot of people in Seattle who should be hopefully attending these games, and I'm very interested to see the Cubs series. I want to see the ratio of Mariners fans to Cubs fans because we should not get ratioed by the Cubs fans. I know there's a lot of Cubs fans. I know they're a popular franchise. They've been around for a long time. The Mariners, if we get ratioed by Cubs fans this weekend, we have a problem.
yeah, we do.
That's like that then we're starting to go into like the Angels level where it's like fans are we don't want the fans to lose faith.
Yeah. It's starting to become desperation time, folks, but that's about all the time we have left on the NW Sportscast. Tomorrow game against the Blue Jays, trying to win one back after dropping two straight against the Blue Jays. And, what is it? 7 of the last 8 at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. 6 of the last 7 games. So
Yeah.
not good stuff at all. Let's see if the Mariners can turn around this ship. That's about all we got. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you made it all the way to the end of the video. We are doing a post game every single day. 162. Haven't missed one yet. Turn on those notification bells. Come back every single day after the Mariners to hear our thoughts. And we really do appreciate it. We're starting the grind with or without you. But if you want to hop on, that'd be great.
Exactly.
And that's about all I got, Levi.
Yeah, I would echo that sentiment. And once again, guys, as always, go Mariners. I know it's hard to root for them sometimes, but if you're watching this channel, my guess is that you are a Mariners fan. So that's your team. We gotta support. Don't lose faith because it's not that fun when you stop believing. And we're only 12 games in. And like I said, feel like a broken record, but until we're like significantly into the season, we're just gonna have to keep repeating that phrase. It's early. And it is. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Gonna have some more Seahawks content coming at you guys as well. And with all that being said, go M's.